So it was with great delight that one day, perusing this fairly hefty works of Wordsworth that I have, that I came across a poem called To Joanna. And since it was addressed to me, I thought it would be a good one to read now. To Joanna. Amid the smoke of cities did you pass the time of early youth, and there you learned from years of quiet industry to love the living beings by your own fireside, with such a strong devotion that your heart is slow to meet the sympathies of them who look upon the hills with tenderness, and make dear friendships with the streams and groves. Yet we, who are transgressors in this kind, dwelling retired in our simplicity among the woods and fields, we love you well, Joanna, and I guess, since you have been so distant from us now for 2 long years, that you will gladly listen to discourse, however trivial, if you thence be taught that they, with whom you once were happy, talk familiarly of you and of old times. While I was seated, now some 10 days past, beneath those lofty firs that overtop their ancient neighbour, the old steeple tower, the vicar from his gloomy house hard by came forth to greet me, and when he had asked, "How fares Joanna, that wild-hearted maid, and when will she return to us?" he paused, and after short exchange of village news, he with grave looks demanded for what cause, reviving obsolete idolatry, I, like a runic priest, in characters of formidable size, had chiselled out upon some uncouth name upon the native rock, above the Rotha by the forest side. Now, by those dear immunities of heart, endangered between malice and true love, I was not loath to be so catechized. And this was my reply. As it befell, one summer morning we had walked abroad, at break of day, Joanna and myself. 'Twas that delightful season when the broom, full-flowered and visible on every steep, along the copses runs in veins of gold. Our pathway led us on to Rotha's banks, and when we came in front of that tall rock that eastward looks, I there stopped short, and stood, tracing the lofty barrier with my eye from base to summit. Such delight I found, to note in shrub and tree and stone and flower that intermixture of delicious hues, along so vast a surface all at once, in one impression, by connecting force of their own beauty, imagined in the heart. When I had gazed, perhaps 2 minutes' space, Joanna, looking in my eyes, beheld that ravishment of mine, and laughed aloud. The rock, like something starting from a sleep, took up the lady's voice and laughed again. That ancient woman seated on Helm Crag was ready with her cavern. Hammer Scar and tall steep of Silver Howe sent forth a noise of laughter. Southern Lochrig heard, and Fairfield answered with a mountain tone. Helvellyn far into the clear blue sky carried the lady's voice. Old Skiddaw blew his speaking trumpet. Back out of the clouds of Glamorous southward came his voice, and Kirkstone tossed it from his misty head. Now, whether, I said to our cordial friend, who was in the heyday of astonishment, smiled in my face, this were, in simple truth, a work accomplished by the Brotherhood of Ancient Mountains, or my ear was touched with dreams and visionary impulses, to me alone imparted, sure. I am that there was a loud uproar in those hills, and while we both were listening, to my side the fair Joanna drew, as if she wished to shelter from some object of her fear. And hence long afterwards, when 18 moons were wasted, as I chanced to walk alone beneath this rock, at sunrise, on a calm and silent morning, I sat down, and there, in memory of affections old and true, I chiselled out those rude characters, Joanna's name, deep in the living stone, and I and all who dwell by my fireside have called that lovely rock Joanna's Rock.